Today I'll guide you step by step through incorporating 2/5 lines or licks into a jazz blues chord progression. This lesson is designed for intermediate players, but don't worry, you don't need tons of extensive background knowledge. Here's what you will need, and free PDFs for guitar, treble clef and bass are linked in the description. A concert C-7 arpeggio and C Dorian scale, an F7 arpeggio and F Mixolydian scale, at least a basic understanding of what a 2/5 is. For best results, it's helpful if you've already watched my video on starting to solo through blues chord changes. Link below. Also, knowing how to play a diminished 7 arpeggio. Not essential yet, but really useful and something that I really recommend. If you're comfortable with that, you're ready for this lesson. Hi jazz people and welcome to Teaching Jazz. I'm Saul Richardson. I'm delighted to have you here. Assuming you're fine with the rest of the blues progression already, bars 9 and 10, or measures as you might call them in your part of the world, of the standard jazz blues are a 2/5 progression in whatever key the blues is in. In our example today, the blues is in the concert key of B flat. Why B flat? Because that's what the Guide Tone Madness video used, and also because jazz. You'll be improvising through bars 1 to 8, doing whatever you like. I suggest using my Guide Tone Madness method, but do as you please. However, as soon as you get up to the 2/5 in bars 9 and 10, you'll be purposefully quoting one of the lines or the licks I'm about to teach you. Here's the first simple 2/5 line. It starts on the third of chord 2, the first, down to the flat 7, a tone, or 2 frets below that. Then it connects to the third of chord 5, jumps up to the flat 9, then down to the octave, the 7th, and then connects to the third of chord 1. Don't worry if you don't totally understand all of what I just said. Just play the pattern for now, and understanding will come later. If you want to be able to play jazz guitar or whatever instrument, it's more useful to be able to play without understanding than it is to understand without being able to play. The numbers I'm using refer to the notes from a C Dorian scale over the C-7 chord and the F Mixolydian chord scale over F7. All the example lines today will emphasize guide tones, that's the important thirds and or sevenths of each chord, plus flesh it out with some other notes from the scale or even altered notes, like the flat 9 in this first example. One more time then, here's the line. 3, 1, 7, 3, flat 9, 8, 7, 3. Pause the video and take a moment to practice the line a few times if you need to. And now, let's try playing the line together in time. And let's play it a couple more times with a backing track. Okay, next, here's an example of how to incorporate it into a blues solo. I'm going to play for 2 choruses. That's twice through the blues progression. The first chorus, I'll use the Guide Tone Madness pattern, but insert the 2/5 line in bars 9 and 10. The second chorus, I'll play a few other things, but I'll still use the same 2/5 line in the appropriate place. Okay, now it's your turn. Take 2 choruses, improvise however you like through the first 8 bars, then quote my 2/5 line, then fill in the last 2 bars with whatever you like. Keeping track of time and purposefully placing the 2/5 line in the right place is the goal of the exercise. Now let's change the line. 1, 3, 5, 7, 3, flat 9, 8, 7, 3. Practice that if you need to by yourself, then we'll do it together with a backing track. Here's an example of me using it over the 2/5 in bars 9 and 10 of the blues. And now your turn. 2 choruses again. Play as you wish through the whole progression except for bars 9 and 10, where you must quote this new line. Okay, terrific. Now let's try a third line, this time a tiny bit more complex. Now we'll fill up the whole 2 bars with quavers or eighth notes. Try this line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, down to the 7, then 3, 5, 7, flat 9, sharp 9, flat 9, 8, 7, resolving to the 3, the third of chord 1, which is B flat 7. Listen to it a couple more times, then practice it if you need to. By the way, that diminished 7 arpeggio I said you should know is coming into its own now. When you play 3, 5, 7, flat 9 from a dominant 7, you end up with the same notes as a diminished 7. As I said before, even if you don't understand what I just said, do yourself a favor and simply learn how to do it. By the time you do understand, you'll be able to do it and everything will be good. Now here's me soloing and using that line in bars 9 and 10. Now your turn. 2 choruses. For the next step in this lesson, you'll combine the different 2/5 lines from the lesson into a single longer solo you'll have 5 choruses. Each chorus use a different one of the lines. 3 lines but 5 choruses means that you can either repeat 1 or 2 of them, or feel free, of course, to insert any other 2/5 lines or licks you might know. If you can, it is nice to try to connect the lines to whatever you improvise right before and right after you play them. But that's a slightly more difficult thing to do, so don't worry too much about it right now. Put it on your to-do list. Before you solo, here are some examples of what I mean. Okay, and now your turn. 5 choruses. Mix things up by using a different 2/5 line each time in bars 9 and 10. So, how did you do? I'm sure it was all good. Remember, skills take practice, repetition, and time to solidify. So work at it a bit and you'll find it easier and easier. Also remember that the main skills, apart from playing the lines and remembering them, are keeping track of time and purposefully playing those lines in the right place, in time, and in style. Soloing through chord changes is one of the most important ways of improvising in jazz. It isn't the only way, but it's so important that it's a skill that pretty much every aspiring jazz player needs to learn. So these exercises are totally worth doing. Also, if you're teaching this to other people, this is a good step to take them through that really works. If you want to up your jazz blues playing even more, you need to watch this video next.